I am Tuqa Al-Aithan, and I'm from Saudi Aramco. I specialize in digital transformation and capital projects. So I've been leading one of our initiatives called Predictive target setting for capital planning, and I'm very happy to share with you our journey. So first, just to quickly to go over the agenda, first I'll tell you why we are all here and what can you benefit from this session. Then I'm going to talk to you about the concept of capital management system and how is it related to target setting process. Then we're going to deep dive into the target setting process and how it's going to help us in setting project financials. Then we will see some of the business challenges and highlight the efforts of how we scoped and designed the solution. And I'll give you a quick peek on how our solution looks like with the benefits. So why are we here in this session? We are here in this session so I can show you a very creative AI tool that will help you manage your financial targets and achieve them. It will also streamline the capital project management and will drive more efficiency throughout the capital portfolio. So what is the capital management system? I'm going to talk about this so we can set the context a little bit. The capital management system, at least in Saudi Aramco, it's a governance framework that guides how major projects should move from early concept to full funding. Each project must show clear values, realistic expectations, and also readiness before capital is released. But how do we get these cost and schedule expectations before we release the fund? This is where the target setting comes in. The target setting is a process that challenges the project management teams to set ambitious but realistic cost and schedule targets. This is, of course, to outperform our last performance as a company. So let's talk a little bit more about that. In Aramco and any capital-intensive organization, all major projects go through at least 5 major phases. Business plan, facilities planning, project planning, then it will go to execution and operation, and finally close out. The most critical work happens in the first 3 phases, which what we call front-end loading. This is a project management process that ensures that you have a strong foundation before you move to detailed design and engineering. The front-end loading consists of 4 phases as well. I'm going to skip the first one and focus on the last 3. The FEL1 is identifying the project with a high-level scope. We call it a business case. The FEL2 is study and DBSB phase, which is where we evaluate the feasibility of the project and see any other alternatives of the project. And FEL3 is where we have the final project proposal with full implementation plan so the fund can be released. So where does target setting really happen in here? Target setting happens in the last 3 FEL phases, and it consists of 4 major components. The first component is you have to select your primary driver for the project. Is it cost or is it schedule? It depends, of course, on the project. What matters to you the most? I want to finish this project in this amount of time, or I want to be very cost efficient. I'm going to only spend this much no matter how long it's going to take me. So after selecting the primary driver, we will conduct at least 2 target setting workshops. But before the workshops, our subject matter expertise have to identify some of the things and prepare some data before the workshop. What kind of data I'm talking about? It's what we call benchmark data. He has to browse through all of Aramco's historical projects and gather all the information, the targets, the finances, the estimates, so he can use it as a benchmark for his target project, so he can set his targets properly. So he's gonna gather all of that, bring it to the workshop. Then he and the execution agency, the facilities planning, and the PMOs will discuss these estimates and propose a target range for the project. After each workshop, we have consecutive target setting assessments. This is where the project teams refined the targets that they set, because as you go further in the FEL phase, you have a more defined scope. So you have more clarity on the cost, you have more clarity of how much or how long the project is going to take you. And finally, the target setting deliverable, which will have a full report of how they reached this conclusion, and also you will have your proposed targets of cost and schedule that will be monitored throughout the execution. So the target setting process has actually delivered value over time, but we identified several areas that we can definitely improve. First, the process is highly manual, so the subject matter expert has to gather the data, has to do his own project profiling, has to pick the similar projects, and also he has to do something we call normalization, either time normalization or complexity or productivity, so he can begin the benchmark. The data is also very scattered across multiple systems, from ERB systems, from cost estimating systems, and also external sources such as IHS Markit, which we use to study the cost trends for EBC projects. Also, we had the challenge of having some incomplete data for very old projects, and they do not have any standardized format. As you can see, there is no integration between the data. If you get something from here, something from there, it's very hard to link between the data points. The process is very time-consuming. It takes the cost or schedule estimator about half a month to finish only one target setting workshop for one project only. So imagine if you have 50 projects per year. It's going to take you about 700 days to prepare for one target setting workshop. Also, the process now we have trust in our employees, but it solely relies on the judgment of the expert, so it is not really ideal and it's very subjective. So this naturally created an opportunity for us to modernize how the target setting process is and make our capital portfolio more efficient. So we began by conducting really detailed designed workshop with our subject matter experts. We understood what the target setting process is, how complex it is, what kind of algorithms they use, and also what are their main pain points. And we came up with 4 key things that are non-negotiable. First, at the top, as you can see, is the data warehouse. This will be the single source of truth for all cost and schedule information and input, along with the project information. Also, fully automating the process, so it's going to conduct the statistical analysis for you. It's going to show you all the patterns, all the similar projects, and what project you can use for benchmark. Also, we added the machine learning model so it can predict for you what are your targets ranges in each FEL phase as the scope gets refined more and more. And of course, we have a dashboard, but our dashboard is a little bit more special. It's going to give you the ability to do what-if analysis. So if you, for example, try to change the location of the project, in real time, you're going to see the effect of cost and schedule on that on your target project. So this is a bit more technical. This is a quick peek of how the solution looks like. As we said, we begin by collecting the data from the source system, from ERP system, estimating sheets, and external systems like IHS Markit. This is automatically now ingested periodically or in any time that the subject matter experts actually wants into our data hub. So it lands in the raw zone at first, where it gets transformed and cleansed, and it will be stored in the data warehouse to be ready for use. Now, after it's in the data warehouse, we will run the project profiling analysis and the benchmarking, where it will show you all the patterns that has been done in the past, what are the projects similar to yours, and how you can make use of that information. Now, the machine learning model is going to take this input and it's going to predict for you the target ranges. Of course, it's not going to give you a number. It's not going to tell you, there you go, this project is going to cost you only 7 million. That's not how it's going to work. It's going to give you a range. It's going to give you, for example, from 5 to 10 million. Best case scenario is 5 million. More likely it's going to cost you 7 million, and 10 million is going to be the conservative approach, which is the worst case scenario. Now, the process does not end here, actually. So once, let's say the project was approved and was fully funded and went to execution. Now, after completion, after it's closed, the actual cost and schedule will be fed back to our data warehouse, so it can be used for retraining and also to be used for future benchmarks. So let's talk a little bit more about the business benefits this tool has provided already. Now, from 15 working days, it takes the estimators less than 5 minutes to view all the historical data. He can see the average across portfolio level, BI level, business line level, and he can drill down as much as possible. Also, it takes him only less than 5 minutes to interchange between the benchmarked project. So we can still use the expertise of the subject matter experts in case they want to change the benchmark project or they want to keep it as is. The solution magnitude is really high and scalable. We affect multiple organizations, from execution agency, facilities planning, PMOs, and also all of the cost and schedule estimators. We actually saw an improved accuracy from 25 to 30% in both cost and schedule target ranges. And this, of course, will improve your early decisions quality, because now you have realistic, data-driven targets that can guide you through execution. The tool also is very self-dependent, so it provides the end user self-service business intelligence, where he can run lots of type of reports. He can drill down into the data with the work breakdown structure, if you're familiar with that. And also the tool is very flexible, so we left them a room in case there were any mistakes in the historical project, or for example, they want to refine some inputs. They have the ability to do that, and the machine learning will pick it up. Thank you so much. I guess I'm right on time. And thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure to share our predictive target setting journey with you. Thank you.